Hello and welcome to the latest instalment of the Rangers Women's Supporters Group podcast. As always, I'm joined by Kat, and this week Alan's back. How are you doing?
Hey, good.
Doing good, thanks. It
Good
would be a
stuff.
Rose pod without complaining about being cold after being at Broadwood, but football's back.
Football is back. The cold's back. We've even had the summer. Here we go. So we'll kick off with the news that we signed another player this week, another midfielder. Car, we had a bit of a inkling of who it was going to be, but we didn't want to obviously get egg on our faces by announcing it too soon. But we signed Camille Lafay, I think it is, from she's from America. She's obviously a midfielder. I feel like midfield's quite stacked now, Car. But what's your thoughts on Camille?
I mean, I've had a wee look on YouTube. There's a highlight reel for her. She looks quite good, quite attacking minded, and this is only her second professional club that she's been at, so obviously quite young, still quite a lot to learn, and apparently injured, so a great start. But we'll see how she gets on when she gets into the team. As you say, midfield's pretty stacked, but we've got a fair few injuries and players just back from injuries in that area, so probably need her towards the end of the season when they're running on empty at times. So, but it's good that we're still working on that. I'd assume that'd be the last player that we sign this window, though.
Nobody's going to believe us anyway, Car, so we can say that. But as far as we're aware, it is probably the last one. Alan, obviously, bringing another player. We don't know if she's injured, but considering she wasn't in the team today, it could be the international clearance thing, or she might just not. But she's not been in the videos during this week either, so who knows really. But what did you think when you seen that would sign another player?
It's always a good boost to add to the squad sort of late on, just as the league season starting. I'd imagine Bordeaux's having a clear out. They're obviously having problems over in France. So the 1 year deal was quite interesting to me. Everybody was signed in the summer or extended has been sort of 2 or 3 years. I think maybe only Vic signed a 1 year extension, but I did talk to Jo after the game. We'll get on to that, but she never mentioned Camille's amongst any injuries in terms of the update she gave. So it might just be a registration thing or giving her a chance to get some stuff sorted.
That's good news then, because we're always happy when players are happy and healthy, and that she's maybe just checking the forecast for the rest of the week. She did say in a little interview thing that she'd done that it rained 9 days out of the 12 that she'd been here, so that's maybe why it's only a 1 year contract. Anyway, obviously we welcome her, and it's good to have another player in the door. So we'll get to today's game. We obviously faced Partick Thistle at home, first home game of the season. We started with Vic Esson in goals. We had Nick Dock, Leah Eddy, Cathy Hill, Laura Rafferty, Brogan Hay, Rio Hardy, Lizzie Arnott, Chelsea Cornett, Liv McLaughlin, and Katie Wilkinson. Were you happy with that team, Car? Any surprises?
No, I'm fairly happy with it. Well, I'm very happy with it. There wasn't really another starting 11 I'd go with. Nice to see Laura Rafferty come in from the start. Basically, the team that ended last game, the second half of last game. So, yeah, no qualms about it. Good that Vic's back in the net. It seems like she will be number one, which I'm sure everybody that knows anything about me will know that I'm pretty happy with that. And of course, Katie Wilkinson, it's just her world and we're all just living in it. So, can't go wrong with her up top.
Yeah, Alan, what's your thoughts on the team when you seen it?
I was quite happy with the team. I expected Brogan would come in now that she was available, and I thought we'd maybe bring somebody in for Kirsty and play him in the 10. I probably didn't expect Jo to start with 4-4-2 like she finished last week, but no, it's good to see Laura Rafferty come in, and we got a chance to see at least a wee bit more of what she can bring to the team.
Yeah, definitely. And it didn't take long for us to kick off pick up from where we left, Car, with Wilko getting yet another goal within the first couple of minutes and another assist for Lizzie Arnott.
Yeah, a minute and a half gone. Lizzie doing what Lizzie is best at, running down that left side. Struggling with left and right there. Running down the left side, beautiful ball into the box. Katie's there, she just header it home. Minute gone, minute and a half gone. exactly where we left in the last game.
Yep, and she looks a player, doesn't she, Alan? That's obviously, as we're going to come on, she does get another couple of them, but what a player we've managed to unearth again. Joe's just got a knack for picking up these players from down south.
Yeah, I think Katie Wilkinson might go on to become a cheat code for this league. You know, she just looks as if she's been playing with this team for a long time. You know, it's the goals will get the highlights. You know, that'll be what's talked about. But a link-up play, you know, the way she holds the ball, the way she wins free kicks, and just is able to get us up the park and just calm the game down when needs be. So I think we've unearthed an absolute gem there.
Yeah, definitely. And as we said last week, Karen, no scared to get her head in, just dive at the ball and all that as well. So talking of head in there and putting it where you don't want it to be, there was a nasty head knock on the 12th minute. Car Rafferty and Courtney Stewart with Partick Thistle went up, both going for the ball, but unfortunately they both clashed heads in a serious one for Raf. I think she's got a couple of black eyes spoken tonight, but even worse for Courtney Stewart, who got stretchered off.
Yeah, I mean, it looked horrendous. As soon as they both went for the ball, they both went down, and it looked almost like Courtney was unconscious or something. She wasn't moving for a minute or so, or a little bit less than that, but it looked a nasty one. Of course, the doctors and the paramedics and whoever else was there came on, checked her out. It took a good long while for her to get on the stretcher, then go out. We didn't know at the time, but then obviously afterwards Brian Graham's come out and said that she had ended up having a seizure, and then she waited 3 hours for an ambulance, which is just, it's ridiculous, but it's the state of the NHS at the moment. But a topic we probably should talk about, the fact that there is no ambulances on standby at women's games. It's just not funded by the league. There's probably not enough money for clubs to be able to afford to do that every game. And it's kind of a tricky one because you can't just throw money at that, but then when it is needed, like today, it puts you in that situation where a player's badly injured and there's no one there to really help. She just has to stay with the doctors and the medical team in the medical room and hope for the best. So we'll find out how she is later on. Hopefully she does okay, because it did look pretty bad.
Yeah, it is obviously, Car saying there's a lot of football played and that, so for the finance reason, which Brian Graham even stated that it's obviously a finance reason why there isn't ambulances on standby, because there's so much football that's played. If there was an ambulance on standby at every single football match that was being played, there'd be no ambulances for anybody else. But how do we strike a balance here of making sure player welfare is met?
It's a tough one, but as he sort of said, there's a lot of levels of football that's not going to have ambulances on standby. It's just something that, you know, is not possible because of the resource, because of the money, and it's just unfortunate that probably because it was a head knock is why she's not been taken in a car or some other mode of transport to the hospital. They probably had inside a caution and wanted to just wait for an ambulance to come. You know, if she sort of broke her arm or something, somebody would have driven her to the hospital and it would be a kind of non-issue. It's because it's been a serious head knock and she's took a seizure, everybody's rightly concerned about her. So certainly she seems to have come off far worse than Lauren Rafferty, but hopefully both of them are sort of fit and back on the pitch and healthy soon.
Yeah, definitely. It's one for the SWPL to look at Car, but we also wish Courtney all the best with her recovery and hopefully she's back on the pitch soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's just back from injury, I believe. I had a quick look at Twitter because she's not a name that I recognise. So I had a wee look and it seemed like she was out for a fair chunk of time before this game, which is gutting for her that she's just kind of back from injury. She's wearing the goggles or the glasses, whatever you have it, for some reason, whether it's just vision related or whether it's due to injury. And then she's, unfortunate timing, there's another head knock and she's probably going to be out for a while again. So it's just best wishes to both of them, and honestly, I hope Raf's okay. She seemed to come off a little bit better, probably does have a bit of a sore head and a few black eyes, but hopefully both of them are up and running, and hopefully we get a bit of an update later on to know how she's doing, and hopefully she gets to the hospital and she's all right.
Yep, absolutely. So then, Alan, the game obviously continued. We had a few chances to get that second, but then it came around the 36th minute with who else but Wilko getting another goal. And I think it was Liv this time that got an assist, so wee rest for Lizzie.
Yeah, I think it was Liv. It was credited with the assist. It was a wee bit of a scramble in the box, but Katie Wilkinson is going to score the goals that just sort of fall and bounce around the box. And it was a proper number 9 striker's goal. Just in the right place, just forcing it home, and the composure she seems to find in a congested box is brilliant. I watched the highlights of last week again just the other day, and composure for our 4th goal last week. We're just going to get to enjoy so much of this season, hopefully. And the goal it took quite a while for a second one to come. I think the long sort of delay kind of knocked us out of the rhythm, because I thought we'd started the game quite well, but we started going and obviously finished the first half strong.
Yep, and then a few minutes later, Chelsea pops up and gets a goal as well. I don't think it's one she'll be watching back on the highlight reels too much, but she'll take it, and a nice assist for Nick as well.
Yeah, I mean, Nick was kind of doing that a lot during the game. She's just putting balls into that area, and I think Rio kind of swings at it a little bit, doesn't make contact with it, and Chelsea's just there to fire it into the back of the net. And as you say, not one that's going to make her highlight reel, but they all count, as she said, at the end of the game, and she's not going to be mad about scoring, so can't be too mad about it. And someone else gets on the score sheet, which is quite nice, gives Wilko a little bit of a break.
Yep, so Alan, we go in 3-0 at half time, fairly comfortable. I think possibly more comfortable than we expected after the way we played against Partick last season.
I don't know if it was more comfortable than we'd expected, or at least not as comfortable as we'd hoped. But Partick was always got to be a big test. We had a great day last week against Aberdeen, but Aberdeen are a team that got to struggle. We expect Partick to do really well this season. They've probably improved quite a bit in the summer, so this was a good test, given that we did struggle against them. Well-organised team, and I think most of us would have been quite happy if he'd offered us a 3-0 lead at half-time. So it was good to go in, and at no point did we really look under any pressure at the back. Even had to make the early change where Tess came on for Laura.
Yep, and then no changes at half-time unlike last week, so the same team comes back out, starts to play the same way again. We kind of kick on, and then Wilko gets another hat-trick. And an assist this time for Rio, who I think had quite a quiet game, but I don't know if it's just because Katie's grabbing all the headlines or if it was just she wasn't getting much joy, but she got an assist anyway, and it secured Wilko's hat-trick for the second game in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good ball from Brogan, who kind of just chips it into the box. Rio tries to get her head onto it, kind of makes a little bit of contact, and Wilko's just there to kind of half volley it into the roof of the net. Can't ask for much better. Hat-trick in 2 games, 7 goals across 2 games. It's just incredible work, and she must be thinking, why didn't I come up here a few years ago, because this is pretty easy, this. So you can't be too mad about it. She's, it's not even just the fact that she scored that many goals. She could have had a few more in this game. There's a moment before we scored, I think the 3rd or the 2nd, where she plays the ball. She could take the shot herself, plays it to Brogan, and Brogan just doesn't have enough. It gets snuffed out. But there was moments like that the whole game where she could have had assists, she could have had goals. And that's what she's adding to the team. And as you say, Rio's just been a bit quiet because Wilko's doing a lot of the work, but Rio is still doing a lot of work. She's just not really getting any goals just now. But the fact that we thought we couldn't do better than Rio last season, who scored so many goals and did really well for us, and then Katie's come in, Rio and Kirsty must be thinking, what have I got to do here? Like, this is horrendous. She's come in, she's scoring all the goals, getting all the headlines, and we're all just here. This is her world, and we just have to live in it for now. But I'm sure throughout the season they'll get a few goals and they'll be happy. But I'm not moaning about that. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah, and I think it kind of takes pressure off Rio and Kirsty Howitt, especially Kirsty Howitt, when she's been the one that's been here for so long and has kind of been the one that's expected to score. So they'll either be panicking that their place in the team's threatened, or they'll be quite happy just to kind of set up goals and do some of the other work for a wee change.
It certainly takes some of the burden off him, but I'm pretty sure they're all pretty competitive and want to be that main striker. So they're going to see the goals getting scored already this season, and they're going to want to grab their share of it. So I think it's only got to be a good thing for us that if one of the strikers starts scoring the way Katie has, then Rio, Kirsty, Laura Berry, Jane Ross, and Sarah Ewens, when they come back, they're all going to want involved. You look at how much Lizzie's been involved in the goals, and Brogan and Mia are what to go and do that. Jodie's what to come in and do that as well. So it's got to fire everybody up, hopefully, to really want to get a piece for himself.
Yep. So in the 65th minute, we made some substitutes. On came Ailey Austin, Kirsty Howitt and Mia McCauley, and off went Nick Dock, Lizzie Arnott and Brogan Hay. Quite a good game for the three going off, Car, but the three that came on and kicked on as you would expect.
Yeah, I mean, massive shout out to Ailey Austin, who came on and should have had a wonder goal, not by design, but close enough. She hit the ball, the wind kind of took it, and it hit off where the post meets the crossbar, and unfortunately it didn't go in, but she had a really good game. She was basically playing up front at one point, but it was just that good. But the same for Laura Berry. Laura Berry does what she does, comes on, creates things. Kirsty Howitt, I thought, had quite a good game. There was moments where she was getting hassled a lot by the Partick players, but she was still managing to stay in the game. So I think the subs did what they needed to do. They came on and calm things down, and Partick set up more defensively in the second half, so we didn't create as many chances, it didn't have as many opportunities, but they're not going to want to go and get beat 11-0, so they're going to set up that way. So they came on and did quite well, I think.
Yeah, and I think we need to touch on Ailey Austin a bit more. She came on and Cara actually turned and went, I thought she came on for Nick, because she was practically playing on that kind of wing role, but there was actually a couple of times that she nearly scored. She was quite unlucky not to score, but also unlucky not to set up another couple of goals for the strikers.
Yeah, she had 2 or 3 efforts on goal. When the triple sub get made, we changed formation, went back to the way we played last year. So Ailey played down one wing and Mia on the left side. So, Ailey saw plenty of ball. She had a tough task, obviously, getting by Docherty for Partick, but any of our wingers tend to have a challenge to get by her. So Ailey did manage it. She was linked up well, particularly with Laura and Kirsty down the right-hand side and getting some dangerous balls in. She was getting into good positions in the box, and it just wasn't quite falling for either Laura or Kirsty in the middle, whatever side it was coming in from. But Ailey's definitely came back and looked even better than she was last season. So it's great to see the young team kicking on again, which is what we want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't just go back to Lizzie Arnott, because obviously I think we did kind of big it up last week, but she looks so sharp this season. I think she needed that kind of pre-season and that to kick on, where she was injured last year, but she's obviously kicked on, and she looks, even in the training videos and that, she looks so sharp when you see her setting up the strikers that there, and then obviously she's taking that at the games, and what a difference it's making already.
Yeah, I mean, how many times last season did we say it looks like she's maybe lost a half yard, she's struggling a little bit, and I guess that was just down to injury, and it was just down to struggling with little knocks and stuff, and she was in a boot at points, but she's had the summer and the pre-season to come back, and she's at her best again, exactly what we knew Lizzie Arnott could be like. And normally it's Jane getting on the end of things, but unfortunately she's injured at the moment, so it's Katie Wilkinson that's taken up that role, and they have such a good partnership. She's just doing incredibly well, getting down that wing, dangerous balls in, managing to keep balls in that last season probably would have gone out, and still managing to meet her marker and get balls into the box, exactly what we're wanting from our wingers. So there's times we kept going down the other side, and I think I said to you, why don't we just go down Lizzie's side, just keep using her side, because she's that dangerous at the moment. But obviously we've got to give other players a chance, but she does look so good, and she's definitely one that we need to keep an eye on. I don't know if you've got that stat, because I can't remember off the top of my head, I didn't write it down, but her goals and assists since she's come into Rangers is just an incredible stat.
That's so great. She's got 127 goal involvements, which is 69 goals and 50 assists in 118 appearances. Not too shabby.
Incredible, isn't it? Just madness. But that's what Lizzie does, and that's what we knew she could do. So I'm glad that she's still here. She got that extension and she's back to her best.
Yep, so the next piece of action that happened, Alan, was Leah Eddy getting a yellow card. Now, Cara and I missed it because I think we were probably talking. There's a surprise. So, do you want to talk us through what happened? Because you did say she deserved it, so what happened?
Um, there was just a couple of players came together, sort of on the edge of the box down the sort of left hand side, and Leah's brought her down. You know, there was nothing particularly bad about the foul, but you know, in the position it was, you expected there's got to be a yellow card, so I wouldn't complain too much at that. But I'm pretty sure Leah will be involved in some meaty challenges. You know, she looks quite happy to have a physical battle where it's needed. So, you know, I think she'll certainly add some steel in the back line.
Yeah, she certainly had another good game. Cartwright obviously had more chances, was discussed with Ailey Austin being in amongst it. I think Kirsty Howitt came on, was quite unlucky that she wasn't really getting much chances, but it could be just the way, as you say, she was marked and stuff. But I think we're still looking really threatening going forward, regardless of who's up front, even when, well, Wilko was still on at that point, but even when she goes off, well, we're still creating plenty of chances.
Yeah, I mean, we did create a lot, and as I say, Partick set up quite well in the second half defensively. They were taking body shots and the ball to the face at points, even in the first half, but especially in the second half, they're really laying it down. So, you know, we want to be relentless. We want to have that streak in us where we just take every chance, but there's going to be teams that set up that way, and it's not going to be able to happen every game. But we were still creating, and, you know, Joe was screaming at them from the sidelines to think about things, and as Joe normally does, giving them a lot of instructions. And, you know, people were creating things, especially, you know, Ailey Austin when she came on in the first half, Lizzie, Mia, they're all doing, not Mia, fucking absolute garbage, Brogan. We're creating a lot of stuff. So it's good that we're still doing stuff towards the end of the game, but we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But there was a few half stramashes, because they weren't really full stramashes, but we were creating things, and Partick were just getting in the way of it, and the goalie made a couple of good saves in the second half as well to keep us out. So can't win them all 11-0, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a lot of action from the corners, Alan, and then we did have Berry and McCleary come on, and it gave Hardy and Wilko a wee rest, but no much else. Well, there was obviously chances once they came off, but no more goals.
No, and we'd probably be a wee bit frustrated we scored so early in the second half and didn't add to it, but Partick are a very solid unit defensively, and you know, there was a lot of balls coming across from Ailey and Mia on both sides. They were really good balls, but they just weren't quite falling for any strikers who were on. Obviously, we'd been able to make 6 subs and have plenty of rotation with the first subs in the first half, being concussion subs, so that gave us a chance to utilise 6 subs, but I don't think we can be too upset with a 4-0 win over Partick. We can't get in our head too much about what happened last year, that we were disappointed at beating Partick 4-0. You know, on reflection, it's probably a really good result, and it left us comfortable in a game that we might have struggled in 6 months ago.
Yep, Carso finishes 4-0. Like, everybody's fairly happy with that, even Joe. Who was your player of the match?
I mean, to the surprise of no one, it's Katie Wilkinson. Although I will say, Ailey did really well in the second half. Kathy had a really good game defensively. Lizzie again did really well. Brogan had a good. I mean, I'd probably list half the team at this point, and they all had a pretty good game. Vic didn't have a whole lot to do, but made one good save and was, you know, doing what Vic does. But for me, it's Katie Wilkinson, and I think it's probably going to be Katie Wilkinson a lot this season. So it's just the way that is.
Alan, do you agree?
I'm actually not going to vote for Katie because I'm pretty sure she'll get plenty of Player of the Match awards, and I'm pretty sure at this rate she'll get Player of the Season. But I deliberately left it to choosing Player of the Match to speak about the midfield, because I thought Chelsea was exceptional again today. If we're going to play a sort of 4-4-2 type formation, it's going to ask a lot of the central midfielders. And I thought Chelsea and Love were absolutely brilliant today. So I was too late to get the vote in for Liv to be an option in the Player of the Match poll. But, you know, I thought Chelsea was absolutely brilliant today. You know, she had a fantastic season last year. She's become became a regular on the Scotland team, and she was excellent today. So if you're going to play just two in the centre, we really need top performances. We can't afford like 6 out of 10 performances for the two in the middle, or we'll just get overrun. So Chelsea player of the match for me.
Good choice. Don't think we can argue with that. But I think it's going to be, if you get another hat trick, I'll go for Wilko as well. But that's just going to be a common theme this season, as we've all said. So, Alan, you spoke to Chelsea. I think that's maybe why you gave her the player of the match. Have you got the interviews there for us to listen to? And you spoke to Joe as well?
Yeah, Chelsea's was a wee bit shorter, so we'll start with what Chelsea had to say after the game.
Bruce obviously changed the formation a wee bit in games. How are you finding it today playing as a two?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, you need that depth. You need different formations to try and improve. And working on different things is what we're aiming to do this season. So having that variety is massive.
Partick were obviously really tough opponents last year. It was a 4-0 win and a comfortable 4-0 win. A sign of how the team stepped on and improved over the summer. Yeah, 100%. I think we knew it was going to be a difficult game, as you said. They posed us difficulty last season, and so we knew that they were going to come in at us strong. And 4-0 win, and as you say, comfortable. We couldn't ask for much more. Obviously, a 3-game week this week. How well do you feel set up fitness-wise after pre-season? Yeah, I think our pre-season's been amazing. You can see how fit we are. The goals are coming in thick and fast, and I feel fine and ready for it. Obviously, it's a 3-game week that's came in thick and fast compared to normal, but the girls are looking forward to it. Games as players, that's what you want to play. Last one, Chelsea. As players, how do you maintain that focus and intensity that we've seen in the first 2 games so far? I think we just need to remain focused. We take each game as it comes, and so Wednesday's a big game for us. Queen's Park will be up for it. They're obviously just newly promoted, and we'll analyse them the same as we do every other game, and hopefully we can come away with 3 points. Brilliant. Cheers, Chelsea. Thank you so much.
So Chelsea's attitude is pretty much like everybody else in the squad. It's just about working hard. It's about not taking anything for granted, not wanting to leave anything to chance. So, you'll have spoke to more players today than I did. They seem really buying up for it this season, and I think we've got to be massively encouraged by the attitude in the whole squad.
Yeah, but I think my biggest takeaway is how posh Chelsea is on interviews compared to when you're talking to her in person. She really puts on her posh phone voice. But, it's good to hear from her. And as you say, they obviously are really hurting for last season, just missing out. So they're all up for it with the gunning for goals. And the defence, obviously, point of 2 clean sheets as well, is a good start as well.
Definitely. And Joe touched on that during sort of pre-match press as well. She's really happy no conceding in the first couple of games and the work done defensively. But before I spoke to her in the pre-match, post-match media, she did say that Laura Rafferty seems to be not too bad. She's got a really bad sort of black eye and a cutting on one side. She never mentioned anything about a potential fracture. So hopefully there's nothing broken, and hopefully it's just a knock, and she maybe sits out the next couple of games and she's back for the end of the month. But I'll play Joe's interview just now.
Joe, twice in the last 2 games you've changed formation during the game. How pleased are you with the team's adaptability in dealing with that?
Yeah, we've got to be able to do that. I think when you're coming on to play Champions League and you're playing against tactically astute teams that want to try new things and test you out in a tactical way, you've got to be able to adapt to it very quickly in game. So we've got to be able to swap and change, whether that's personnel, whether it's tweaks, whether that's full shape changes within games. And I love it. It's a test for us. It's a test for us to be able to see what we can do and test ourselves. So the players have took it on board really well. We've got to keep it up. We've got to make sure that we're not becoming predictable and playing the same way. We want to create something special this year. We've got to make sure that we're doing it our way. and the girls are going to be ready for everything. So, you know, we don't want to be the team when we play each other so many times that becomes this is how they're going to play. They're not going to change. You're going to do that. We've got to keep everybody on their toes, and our players are good enough to be able to do that. They've had me for a year now, so they know expectations and what I expect on and off the ball. And we've kept the majority of the squad, so it means that we can start to build now and really kick on. So I'm looking for our players to be a little bit more tactically astute, which they're showing. And we've just got to keep pushing forward doing that.
Kate Wilkinson's obviously started on fire, and all the strikers are really competitive. How much is her early goal spree going to motivate the other strikers?
Yeah, well, they've got to come along the way with her. You know, she's really put down a marker. I think that's 7 goals in 2 games. Which, as I said, I'm not surprised. Not surprised at. She's set the bar, she's set the tone, and I'm no doubt she'll drag the others along the way with her, and then they'll all end up with quite a few goals at the end of the season.
It was good to see Jodie McCleary and Kirsten McLean involved again today.
Yeah.
Did we get any more of the girls due back from injury? Or are we getting close?
A couple of them are getting closer. You've got, I think the next couple back will be Megan Bell and Jane Ross. So then we should start seeing those in the next 3 to 4 weeks in and around training, I think. So I don't know the definite timeline on that. I know that Megan's ahead of schedule and she's doing really, really well. Jane's a little bit different because we've got to make sure that it's kind of day by day how that looks and how it reacts to what she's done that day. So she's doing well so far. We've not had any setbacks with her. And then Sarah Ewens is progressing really, really well. So, you know, they're all on track. It's going to be an extra competitive squad when they're all fit. But that's what we want. That's what we're here for. So we want the players to be fighting fit, ready to go and give me a massive headache at the end of the day.
Last one. There's nobody filling the number 8 jersey.
Yeah.
It's quite a big jersey. Does that mean we should stay excited while the transfer window's open?
We'll see. You know, as I've just said to you, we've got a pretty big squad as it goes. I've got a full bench today, and I've just mentioned to you 3 big players that are ready to come back in. So there's a fine balance between having too many players and just getting players in for players' sake. I've said that. You know, you can't replace a Rowie. She's very different. But I hope what you can see is I've brought in another player and a goal scorer in Katie Wilkinson. So, you know, you lose a special player, but we've gained a special player in an area that we knew that we needed to be a little bit better in. Little half chances that went missing last year. You know, we can see that she's going to put them in the back of the net, given half a chance. So, you know, she's only going to get fitter and stronger and, you know, more astute in those areas as well. So, like I said, you lose a Rowie, but you gain somebody else that brings you goals on the other end of it as well. So we've lost, but we've gained in other areas. And I was as surprised as you that Wilko didn't take the number 8 shirt. So I think she's had a 44 for a special moment for her and her dad. So I think if it wasn't for that, she'd have snapped that shirt right up.
Well, thanks, Joe.
No worries, thank you.
So that was some of the thoughts of Joe post-match. What do you think, Laura?
I think that was really good questions, Alan. Well done. She seems to give a wee bit extra away when it's the fan media, which is always a good thing. But yeah, it's good that she's really positive, obviously, about the players that have came in, but obviously she's saying about no bringing anybody in, but she also never said we weren't bringing anybody in, so that was interesting. But yeah, she's obviously a big part of why we're doing so well again this season already. So as long as we keep doing that and the players are as good, then happy days.
What about you, Car?
I mean, I could listen to Joe speak all day. I do enjoy the fact that she told us that Megan and Jane are coming along. Megan seems to be a little bit further forward, which is always good. You know, she's one that was out on loan last season and then picked up an injury, and she's kind of going to have to come back in and really fight to get a place in this team. So it's definitely going to push her to, you know, be better, and hopefully that injury is nothing too bad, because I don't actually know what it is, to be honest. She just kind of went away in the international break and then was injured and nobody knows what's going on. But nice that she's giving us that insight, because the club don't tell us anything in regards to injuries and that kind of thing. So nice that she's giving us that. I think you can hear a little bit of hurt in her voice about Rowie leaving. I think that's definitely somebody that she wanted to keep, but then you can hear the joy as well with her bringing Katie Wilkinson in and how much she's already improved us. So it's nice that she's human, because sometimes I kind of look at her and I think, can I be? Like the amount that she can do tactically, knowledge-wise, what she can get out of a team that was struggling so much is, almost superhuman at times. But you can tell that she really does care about these players. It's not just a job for her. She really loves the squad and loves the club. So it's good that you hear those moments about that. And I don't think she'll bring anybody else in, but maybe she will. What do I know? Because I don't think we're bringing anyone else in. And then Camille comes along, so what do I know?
Yeah, but really good interview there, Alan, with both player and manager. If we could have joined that midfield oft. But obviously we thank the club for giving us the media access again for this season. We really appreciate it. So moving on to the next game, it's a busy week ahead. We've got Queen's Park up next, Alan, and that should be a good chance to get another few goals and maybe put a few of the youngsters in for the start.
Definitely. Jo was asked post-match about rotating the squad, and she talked about not wanting to rotate too much, but wants to responsibly manage minutes, but make sure that people are going in or earning the place and not just getting put in for the sake of rotation. So I do think we'll see some changes, probably not as many as some people would make. It's easy to look at Queen's Park and think, right, if she's going to take double figures off him, let's chuck the kids in. But there's players obviously coming back to fitness. We're not sure what the injuries were for Jodie and Kirsty, but get some minutes for them if Camille's available. Perfect chance to make her debut. She thinks it's cold so far, wait till she sees a Wednesday night at Broadwood. But let's see what she's made of. Maybe see her for 20 minutes or so. It's a chance. Maybe see what somebody else starting with Katie Wilkinson can do. Bring Rio in the second half. Maybe start Kirsty Howitt up top or Laura Berry. But I don't think we'll see massive changes. I think it'll be important to go in and score early and impose yourself in the game and just make sure that the game's comfortable and we be patient. And that's what we had to do at Aberdeen. We were patient. We kept doing the right things, and the goals came. So I think very much the same on Wednesday, and we'll see a good score.
Yeah, Cara, if Camille can come in on a cold Wednesday, Broadwood evening, I think she'll be all right. Don't you?
If you can do it in France, can you do it on a cold night in Cumbernauld? It's probably not somewhere she's ever heard of before, so definitely going to be interesting. But if Kirsty McLean or any is fit and ready to go, I'd maybe start her, just give Liv or Chelsea a little bit of a break. But I don't think I'd drop Wilko.
No.
She's on a roll. I think dropping her would be kind of stupid just because she is on such good form. Let her get a few goals in the first half and then, sub her out and give somebody else a chance, Laura Berry, Kirsty, whoever, through the middle. But I think it'd be silly to drop her just because it's Queen's Park. We've never played them before. We have no idea. I mean, I'm sure the club do, have an idea of how they play, how they set up, that kind of stuff. But obviously we've seen what Hearts did to them in the opening game of the season. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to just set up in 2 banks of 5 and we're going to struggle to break them down. So we need to be mindful of that and not just think it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to go and absolutely, batter them. We need to get the job done first and then we can look at making changes. But for me, it'd be madness to drop Wilko at this point, or any point, but at this point, it'd be madness.
Yeah, definitely. So tickets are on sale now on the Rangers website. That's at 8 p.m. kickoff, I believe. So get along to Broadwood. If it's not that cold, really, just get along and
bring a jacket.
Wear your big winter jacket though. So, Kat, have you got the loan report for us?
I do. I had a bit of an issue finding Hamilton's stuff, but I've got some of the stuff, so we'll just kind of wing that part. But Summer Laird didn't play. We've just gone back to last season at this point saying that. Mia MacArthur played 90 minutes, started the game, played 90 minutes, and they won 2-0 against Boroughmuir Thistle. Mason Clark, whose birthday it is today, so happy birthday to Mason. 18 years old today. I'm sure she'll have a wee baby tonight, if permitting. But she was a new sub, which is, I think, a bit harsh when it's her birthday. But, that can't play every game, I suppose, but they won 3-2 against Montrose, which I believe towards the end of the game was a bit dicey, so I'll need to go and watch highlights of that and see what happened there. Casey McKenna played 90 minutes, which is nice, good, but they lost 5-0 to Hearts, so not so good, not ideal. Sophie Townsley, Abby Tobin started. Don't know if they played the full game. Don't really know because Hamilton, as I said, their updates are pretty bad. Kirsten Love was a sub. She didn't start, but whether she played or not, I have no clue. But they won 7-1 against Ayr. So they're doing quite well down in SWPL2. So looks like they might bounce straight back up. So we'll see how that gets on. Ellie Payton and Queen's Park didn't have a game, which is bizarre, and I can't really find anything on either Queen's Park or Dundee United's Twitters or anything to say why they don't have a game this weekend. Very strange, but that's the way that it is. Strange. Mary Maxwell played the first half. I think it was 46-ish minutes. Maybe got subbed at halftime or on 46 minutes, not sure. And they lost 3-1 to Kilmarnock.
Bit of a mixed bag there, Alan. Any idea why Queen's Park never played? I did see during the week that they'd put match day 2 for their game, and I was like, no, it's match day 3. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be much information out there as to why they didn't have a game.
No, I tried to look into it when I was posting a predictor for the weekend, and all I could find is it's been played midweek at the end of the month. I'm not sure if it's just they couldn't get a pitch booked but I don't know, because I'm sure Stennismuir were away, so I'm pretty sure the pitch should have been available for him. There must have been some other clash, something causing that game to be rescheduled, but I've not been able to find out why it was.
The mystery of Scottish football. So good for obviously some of the players. Terrible that poor Mason was left out on her birthday. Should have been ready to go, but not to be. But hopefully, as you say, she has a wee drink tonight, celebrates her birthday, and kicks on the week or the next game and gets a game. The score predictor, Alan.
Yeah, well done waiting so long to ask about that, Laura. Because we did say off air that you've got a high score of 23 points on the score predictor. I did double check. It's one short of the record that both Keith Bryce and Kirsty Wilko got with a 24-point haul last year. But there's always midweek, Laura, for you to try and do one better.
Yeah, I'll get my crystal ball out. See what I can do.
So good take up again with the predictor. The post has already been made on Facebook on the group, so check how you get on. And if you've missed out the first couple of rounds, I'll post the midweek round tonight just after we come off the pod. So I'll be up by the time you watch the pod and get to this point. So don't miss out, and I'll be closing on Wednesday for the games.
Perfect. And on scores, I should have asked you both a score prediction for Queen's Park. Cash?
It's difficult because I want to go horrendous and say 15-0, but then I'm going to look like an idiot if it's only 5 or 6. So I'm gonna go conservative and I'll say 10. I think we'll probably score more, but I'm gonna say 10 just purely because it's a Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. It'll be getting dark soon afterwards, and there's factors in there. I don't know why. I'll say 10 because I actually don't know. I want to say 15, but I don't want to look like an absolute idiot, so I'll say 10.
Do you think Wilko doesn't play as well at night when she needs her bed? Like, she's not going to score as well?
She did play at night.
She did it a couple of different times, but nighttime might just knock her off her strike.
Maybe we'll beat the record that you posted the other day that we would beat. Was it Falkirk 22-0 in the cup? Erin Cuthbert and Cathy Hill and all these big names in the team, and maybe we'll beat that. I don't know, but I just don't want to look like an absolute idiot if for some reason we have a bit of an off night.
See, that keeps going in my head, the 22-0. I'm like, we're going to get 23-0. Perfect opportunity, but I don't think I'll be predicting that. But if it does, I'll clip this bit up and be like, mystical horror strikes again. But I think you're going to be, it'll be maybe 10 or 11. We'll maybe be hopefully more, but we'll see. Alan?
Oh, let's hope for a goal fest. Let's hope maybe an unlucky 13 for Queen's Park getting beat by. So I'll put down on my prediction. I'm going to put up for Lizzie Arnott to score first. Just a wee change for Katie because everybody's copied me with that prediction on the so I'll change it up a wee bit.
Yeah, we should have. You also never pointed out that I got today absolutely spot on by getting Katie Wilko first goal scorer and a 4-0 win, but it's Mystic Laura strikes again.
You try and give someone else a chance, and you say Kathy Hill, and then you end up looking like an absolute idiot.
The thing was, you told Kathy, and she was like, she even looked at you like, really? So even she was not picked her, and she's in control of it. She scores or no. But anyway. Get involved on the obviously Facebook group with scores. Let us know what your scores are going to be, and we'll see how you get on. I'll try and go easy on you since I'm going to stop it now because I'm going to just fail drastically for now on. So get along to the game on Wednesday. We'll hopefully see you there. We will have some merch and goodies with us if you want to come and see us. We're usually situated.
Bubble hats, probably.
Pardon?
So bubble hats left.
We might need the bobble hats and the scarves. So we'll see you Wednesday, hopefully. And as always, thank you to Kat and Alan for joining me.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
We'll see you next time.